CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV. Welcome to CBT News with Shyann Malone.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Shyann Malone. Thanks so much for watching. And now here's today's top stories.
Group 1 Automotive reported a record-breaking profit for 2023, thanks to a sizable increase in sales over the fourth quarter. The dealership group earned $17.9 billion in annual revenue, an increase of 10.2% from 2022. Yielding full-year gross profits of roughly $3 billion. Both numbers represent all-time highs for the company. Group 1 attributed its successes in part to its parts and service business, which generated more than one-third of its annual profits. New data on electric vehicle driving ranges suggests the impact from cold temperatures on battery life may be greater than previously reported. According to research from automotive review platform Edmunds, maximum EV travel distances can drop 20 to 30% in frigid conditions, with some models losing more than 100 miles from their advertised range. Edmunds also notes that EVs are likely to charge slower than normal in freezing temperatures, causing delays at public stations. Tesla removed language concerning minority workers and diversity programs in its latest regulatory filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The move follows a series of comments posted on social media platform X. In those posts, Elon Musk criticized the diversity, equity, and inclusion movement, calling it, quote, just another word for racism, end quote. The omitted text originally claimed the EV brand was a, quote, majority-minority workforce, end quote, which collaborated with networks to source talent from underserved communities. In the latest filings, all mentions of diversity were removed. Volkswagen is searching for business partners to collaborate with its new artificial intelligence lab, joining other car manufacturers in the pursuit of automotive software. The company is hoping to develop a variety of technologies in cooperation with firms across North America, China, and Europe, such as voice recognition platforms, predictive maintenance services, and AI-generative charging insights. Although the lab is only responsible for creating prototypes, Volkswagen says it will distribute new products among its brands for further development and eventual launch. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with David Lewis, President and CEO of David Lewis & Associates, to discuss everything dealers should know about trial closes.
CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV.
So there's a lot of dealers out there that are a little nervous because a lot of the salespeople that they hired here in the last 3 years have not been trained to actually sell vehicles. And you know, I don't need any hate mail or emails on that, but it's the reality. I mean, salespeople in the last 3 years haven't had to do a lot of selling, and now it's a new ball game for them. So they're trying to figure this out. And I know that sometimes, you know, you talk about trial closes and things like that. It's like, oh, that might be old school. It's not old school. So, David, talk to us about this, because I know that, you know, what's tried and true still works today, right?
Well, it does and it doesn't. And, you know, it is a little bit of old school. I mean, listen, we all know COVID's gone. It's over. It's done with. Inventory issues are now a thing of the past. Dealerships have inventory. You know, I'm hearing this from all my dealers all the time now is, you know, we've got to get back to selling cars. I've got salespeople that have been with me that started during COVID. They're used to taking orders, making big commissions, and now we got to start selling.
Yeah.
And Jim, we got to get back to some of the basic steps of whatever you want to call it, the 10 steps, the road to the sale, of really creating an environment where the customer wants to buy from you.
That's right. That's right. So take it from there. What do you recommend? What are you telling your clients today to focus on? And then what are some of the trial closes that you're talking about?
Well, first of all, what we teach our dealerships is that the salesperson has to really focus on three things. Number one, they've got to get the customer to find a car they love.
Yeah.
We've got to get away from all these questions, these investigations. What's your budget? What's your timeline? I'm not a big fan, as everyone knows, of the needs analysis, where you drag the customer into the showroom, you ask them 15 questions, you pull up one car. Some people do come in and know exactly what they want, and we'll go right to that car.
Sure.
But I'm an old school guy. Let's show everybody what we got. Let's show them the inventory. A couple of months ago, I went out to buy a car, and I bought something totally different than I went in there looking to buy, because we walked the inventory and my eye caught something.
That's right.
So we teach them the number one goal is you got to find a car the customer loves. Number two, you got to get the customer to enjoy being with the salesperson. We always talk about building rapport. I think rapport is a big word. I know I'll get a lot of mail about this. I don't think you can build rapport with a customer. We have two different agendas. The customer wants to buy the car when they want to for the least amount of money, and the dealership wants to sell the car today and make the most amount of gross. So two different agendas. You're not going to build rapport, but you can get the customer to like you, to enjoy being with that salesperson. And number three, we got to get them to want to do business at our dealership. And how do we do that? By combining the first two, finding a car they love, getting the salesperson to like them, do a great presentation, and then that brings up that dreaded trial close. And I get asked this all the time. I can't get my salespeople to do the trial closes. And I got to be honest with you, Jim, I don't want them doing trial closes. The biggest problem we have now is you do a trial close, you get a negative. Salesperson asks if we can come together on terms and numbers. Will you buy the car today? Customer says, no, not today. They go to the desk. The manager asks, are they buying a car today? Salesperson says, no, not today. Manager asks why. Now we have confrontation.
Yeah.
So now we have a customer that's negative. We have a salesperson that's distraught, and we have a manager now that's frustrated. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And be sure to watch this full interview right here at cbtnews.com. Well, that wraps up our show for today, but we do invite you right back here tomorrow morning on cbtnews.com. And remember, you can stay up to date with the most recent news and trends influencing the retail automotive industry by following us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm Shyann Malone. That does it for me. You have a good one.
CBT News, your number one resource for auto industry news and content. CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV